Hallo, guten Abend. Yeah, we'll just wait a few minutes for everybody else to join in. Okay, I see that there are people are still joining in. Okay, so I'll just wait a couple of minutes, then we can start. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait 2 more minutes. I can see that a lot of people are still joining in. Okay, so I'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start. Okay. Also, guten Abend. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
am I audible? Also, super. So we will continue today with verb conjugation. Okay. So today we will finish our verb conjugation. Okay, and then from Friday, okay, we will start with sentence formation and sentence structures, questions. Okay, so we will be moving on to the grammatic starting Friday. Okay, as far as next week is concerned, I'm not yet sure how the holidays are because next week will be the Diwali week, Monday to Thursday. So I don't yet know. I have no. Okay, so I think you will be informed about that by the team either ways. Okay, so the team will inform you and me, of course, if there are classes or no. So not yet sure. So we'll wait for an update from the team by Friday. Okay. So before we go ahead, haben Sie Fragen, any questions, any doubts? Ist alles okay? Clap. Okay. So I have updated everything on your worksheets. Okay. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Okay. And go through the recording so that if you will have any questions later on, any doubts, anything not clear, okay, the reason I'm repeating this over and over again is that once we start with the grammatic now the size once we get into the hardcore grammar part of the language, we will be doing a new topic every day. Okay, so every class that we meet, we will be okay, we'll be going ahead and we will doing a new grammar topic. Also the course will become or might become a little bit faster in that regard. Okay, so you all may feel that yeah, there are too many things which are covered at a time. Okay, so I don't want you all to feel behind. Okay, that is if you are not sure of something, okay, or if you all are not if you all are having doubts, if you all are having any problems.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, today is my first German class. So, what should I catch up on and where can I access the recordings, previous class recording?
Okay, so the class recordings are available on the WhatsApp group. For the recordings, please check with the team. That is, please check with Heather. I think he should be able to give you the recordings. Okay, so as if this is your first class, sorry, today is our ninth class. Okay, so we have start. Yeah, so this is our ninth class today. So we are a little bit into the course. So you'll have to go through 9 recordings, okay, including today's class because it may be a little difficult joining in between. But check with the UpGrad team; they'll give you the recordings for the first 8 for the first 8 classes. Also you all will get access to the material, so just check with the team about how and where you'll get the access. If you all are added to the WhatsApp group, the link to the material, okay, that is already there in the group description. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, also better should. All right, so yeah, should we start then? All right. So as I was saying, just make sure that you'll go through these classes a little bit uh, in the beginning, because later on, as we will be going ahead, okay, there will be a lot of concepts that will follow one after the other. So it may seem like the courses then suddenly picked up speed and it's going fast, and you all might not get enough time to go through then all the recordings, because then your major focus will be the new concepts that you all will be doing. Okay, all right. So, yeah. So, if you all have no doubts, no questions, I'd like to proceed with the unregelmäßiger Verben. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Can you all see my screen? Yeah.
Yes,
This is
yes, ma'am.
okay. So, wir gehen jetzt weiter mit unregelmäßiger Verben, das sind irregular verbs. Okay, so now when we talk of verben or when we spoke of verb conjugation, okay, we saw that the verbs that we have, okay, in Deutsch, they are divided into two parts, na? Stam und Endo. All right. So you all had a stem and you all had the endung. The endung part being an. Okay. So alla verben enden with an. All verbs that you have, they will end with en. Correct. Also, so when we conjugated regelmäßiger Verben, that is when we conjugated the regular verbs, we saw that the stem remains the same. Okay, the stem remains the same. Only the ending to the verb changes. Okay, so ish endung is a. Okay, du endung is este. Okay, RZS endung is te, and so on. Okay, so that is what we went ahead with. That is, yeah, the stem will stay the same, the endung is going to change. Clear? However, now we will be going on to unregelmäßige Verben, okay, as we call it as irregular verbs. Okay, now the thing about irregular verbs is that the ending is going to change in the similar manner. Okay, so the endings of the words are going to change in the similar fashion. That is, ish ending will be a. Okay, do ending will be st. Okay, rgs ending will be t. So the endings will change in the same manner as we have learned. However, the new part over here will be the stem will change as well. Okay, so you are gonna have certain particular or certain specific changes that you will be doing to the stem. Okay, so with unregelmäßige Verben, that is with irregular verbs, your stem is gonna change, and so is your ending. Okay, so your stem is gonna change, and so is your ending. Clear? All right. Now, in general, if you compare the amount of verbs that we have, okay, regular verbs are far more than irregular verbs. Okay, so the regelmäßige Verben sind mehr als unregelmäßige Verben. That is, you will have more verbs which are regular than they are irregular. Okay, so that is one plus point, that we don't have to remember a whole lot of conjugation of irregular verbs. Also, with irregular verbs, your verbs fall under certain specific categories. Okay, so insgesamt gibt es drei Kategorien. Kategorie 1, Kategorie 2, Kategorie 3, and then we have Kategorie 4. Kategorie 4 here is not necessarily a category per se. These are verbs which are, you can say, unique. Okay, that is, they are not befitting any category. All right, so this again is something that we're going to have to remember. Okay, so see, when it comes to a language, there is a lot of part that we are going to have to keep in mind. Okay, so like I discussed earlier with you, the first thing that we have to remember, okay, is welche Verben sind regelmäßig, welche Verben sind unregelmäßig. Okay, that is, which verbs are regular, which verbs are irregular. Okay, so this is the first thing that y'all are gonna have to remember. Okay, which verbs fall under the category of regular verbs, which verbs fall under the category of irregular verbs. Okay, that is point number one. Der zweite Punkt ist, mit irregular verbs, or with irregular verbs, let's just say, you will have to remember which category does your irregular verb fall into. So if I have a word, first I need to know that, okay, this is conjugated as a regular verb or this is conjugated as an irregular verb. Okay, once I know that, okay, this verb is regular or this verb is irregular. Okay, once that part is clear, I have to see, okay, where does or in what category does this irregular verb fall into. Okay, so wir fangen jetzt mit diesen ersten Kategorie an. Okay, so I will start with the first category now. So here you have two verbs, lesen und sehen. Okay, so das Verb here is lesen und sehen. Lesen heißt to read. Okay, so you read a book. Okay, you read a newspaper. Okay, clear? So das ist lesen. Okay, so the action of reading something, das ist lesen. Okay, und dann das zweite Verb hier, das zweite Verb hier ist sehen. Okay, sehen heißt to see. So remember we did auf Wiedersehen. Okay, we did auf Wiedersehen. Ne? So sehen heißt to see. Okay, now in this first category we only have these two words. Okay, for now. Like I said, the verbs that we are going to be learning in the class, okay, the verbs that we are going to be learning in the class, say for example in these notes, okay, in the material, in the exercises, okay, they are more than enough for A1, that is, they are more than enough for A1. Okay, so in this category, for now we only have two words. Okay, there is one more verb which we learn when we do the exercises. Okay, but in these category, okay, the stem consists of, okay, if you see, the stem consists of this A. Okay, the stem consists of this A. Okay, the ending is going to change anyway. Okay, so we just cross out the ending. We know we don't, okay, we don't separately have to see what to do with the ending. We already know that ish ending is A, du ending is st und so weiter. Okay, so that's broken wir im Moment nicht. We have nothing to do with the ending. Okay, here in the stem we see the sound of A. Okay, so here in the stem we see the sound of A. So das ist lesen und sehen. Okay, and klar, here additionally in the verb lesen, stem ends with s. So remember the rule that we learned yesterday, that is when your stem ends with s or the stem ends with s, you don't necessarily need to add, or you don't have to add a second s over here. Okay, so here for this particular verb the ending will remain te. Okay, so for the rest of the verbs the endings will change as it is. Okay, now what happens here is this A will change to ea. This is category 1. That is the A that is there in the stem. Okay, that is the A that is there in the stem. Okay, von lesen oder zum Beispiel von sehen, this A will change to ea. That is, it will change to ie. Okay, now this is something that again, like I said, you are gonna have to remember. There is no logic to it. If you ask me why are we doing it, simply because it's a grammar rule. Okay, it's conjugation happens to be the most basic part of your sentence formation. So if your conjugation goes wrong, your entire statement goes wrong. Okay, so when I conjugate lesen or when I conjugate sehen, the stem has to change itself from a to ea. Okay, that is from e to ie. So the sound of le will become li. Okay, now the good thing about this is we have to make this change only at two places. Okay, we have to make this change only at two places, that is at du und erstes. If you look at the rest of the conjugation, okay, the conjugation remains the same. Okay, so I'll just repeat the conjugation of lesen once. You all can stay on mute, but you all can repeat it after me. Okay, so sehen Sie mal das. Ich lese. Okay, so the conjugation is here. Okay, ich lese, du liest. Okay, ich lese, du liest. Okay, sie es liest. Okay, so ich lese zum Beispiel das Buch. Okay, du liest das Buch. Klar? Liest das Buch, sie liest das Buch, es liest das Buch. Okay, zum Beispiel das Kind liest das Buch. Klar? Z lesen for male Z. Okay. We are lesen. So we are lesen das Buch. Okay. Ear laced. Now ear the stem is not changing. It's changing only for two places. This is this is du und erstes. Klar? So ich lese, du liest, erstes liest. Okay. Sie lesen, wir lesen. Okay. Ihr lest, sie lesen, sie lesen. Okay. Category 1 stamp changes from A to E. That is stamp changes from A to EE. Alright, clear? Any questions, any doubts? Okay. Now here you will have to remember which verbs fall in category 1. It doesn't mean that every time we say A, we go ahead and start changing it to EA. 9. Okay, you'll have to see if the words fall in these categories or no. So we'll have many other verbs where you will have A, but not all verbs are gonna be conjugated like this. Okay, so don't worry, here the only thing that helps is practice. So we'll do ample practice in the class, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'll give you all exercises that y'all can practice as house of gabber as homework. Okay, so rather than only mugging up the conjugations, once we learn the statements, no, you can try practice. We'll do practicing, right, like we'll practice writing statements in the class, do those exercises. So with that, with the help of that, y'all can remember the conjugations. But as a general rule, remember which verbs fall under which categories. So like I said, so far whatever we have here is good enough. As you go ahead in the course, you'll automatically learn how the conjugations work. Clear? So far good? Okay. So okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes. You can conjugate the verb zayn first on your own, and then we will conjugate it together. Okay, and then we'll repeat the pronunciation of both the verbs once more. Okay, so lesen heißt to read, sehen heißt to see. Now, auf Wiedersehen. Okay, so conjugate the verb similarly. Okay, but with remember with sehen, you are gonna have st as the ending for do. Okay, here adherent we are nur te while the stem with s ended. Na? The stem ends in just s. Okay, so we do not need to add that double s like we did yesterday. Reisen, heißen, tanzen, na? Solche Verben. So lesen. Clear? So you can conjugate Zayn. I'll give you 2 minutes. Conjugate this. Once you are done, we will discuss the conjugations of both the verbs and then move on to the next category. Clear? So makan Sie das, danach diskutieren wir. So you all can do this, then we will discuss the conjugation. Okay? Yeah. Let me know once you complete it, then we will discuss.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So, how to identify the regular and irregular verb?
Yeah, that you will have to remember with practice. So you cannot look at the verb and you cannot just look at the verb and guess if this verb is regular or irregular. You will need to actively learn the conjugations of the verb. So the first group that we did, like in the last 3 4 classes, they are all regular verbs. So slowly you have to start studying and then remember, okay, these verbs are regular, these verbs are irregular. Because just by looking at the verbs, it's not possible to know the conjugations. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So don't worry, y'all will pick up the conjugations as we solve the exercises, as y'all go ahead and learn more of the grammar. But yeah, there's no way in which you can just take a look at the verb and know, okay, this is regular or this is irregular. Okay, so that is the reason we are spending so much time practicing them in the class. Okay, yeah. Fetish? Yeah, ja. Also, okay. So wir diskutieren jetzt die Konjugation von lesen und sehen. Okay, yeah. So this is a part where you will need to study. Okay, it's not going to be that. See, I don't want to say it's not gonna be simple, but it's gonna require practice from your side. Okay, so every day go through these conjugations, go through, revise whatever we have done in the previous class, because of course there's gonna be a lot of remembering that you're gonna be needing to do. Okay, yeah. So I have put up this already on your worksheet. We'll just revise it, like go through it from there. Okay, can you all see the screen? Yeah.
Good evening,
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
ma'am.
The first class today. Could you let me know what's this table about?
So if it is your first class, for all those of y'all who are joining right now, this is our ninth class. Okay, so this is based off of last 4 5 classes that we have done. So we are doing verbs right now, but I'd suggest all those who are joining in for the first time, make sure that you all ask the UpGrad team for the access to the previous recordings. You all should have 9 recordings in general. Okay, so make sure that y'all get the access to these recordings, go through those recordings. Okay, because the flow of the course is, in that sequence. So start right from the first recording and go through the 8 9 recordings. After that, if y'all have any questions, y'all can let me know. Okay, clear? Yeah. Also, okay, so yeah, can you all see my screen? Okay, so ich wiederhole das. I'll say it once, then y'all can repeat it after me. Okay, so wir sehen jetzt die Konjugation von lesen und sehen. Okay, so Endungen sind so gleich. Okay, so I'll repeat it once, y'all can repeat it after me. Okay, so ich lese, du liest, sie es liest. Okay, sie lesen, wir lesen, ihr lest, sie lesen, sie lesen. Okay, dann weiter. Ich sehe, du siehst, sie es sieht. Okay, sie sehen, wir sehen, ihr seht, sie sehen, sie sehen. Klar? Ja oder nein? Verstanden? Any questions so far? Okay, so unregelmäßige Verben, the stem is gonna change. Category 1, A changes to EE. So for these two words, you have to make these changes. Okay, not every word that we see. Clear? So far good? Okay. Super. Danach gehen wir weiter. Okay. Now we will go to Category 2. Okay. Category 2. Again, the stem will contain A. Okay, again, stem will contain A. However, now here your A will change to E. Okay, that is your E. Here, the sound for A will change to E. So welche Verben gibt es hier? Okay, das Verb here is sprechen. We know the meaning of sprechen. Huh? Sprechen is to speak. Okay, ich spreche Deutsch. Remember? Yeah. So now this we will see how it will change. Okay, welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? So sprechen is to speak. Okay, essen is to eat. Okay, then treffen is to meet. Okay, thus next verb here is geben. Okay, geben is to give. Okay, helfen is to help. Okay, and nehmen is to take. All right. Okay, so now for these verbs, if you see, the stem is gonna carry an A. Okay, that is, there is a sound of A present here. All right, you have the sound of A present in the stem. So man hat here expression. Okay, Essen starts with A. Also again, stem ends with S. Treffen, das heißt to meet. This is again has A. Geben is to give. Helfen again has A. All right. Nehmen is again a unique word. It's an exception. So this I will do with you when we are discussing the verbs. Okay, can you see the same? Yeah. So this I will discuss with y'all. Okay, when we are discussing the conjugation. So this you can just let it go for now. Y'all can just note it down if y'all are writing it. Okay, but we'll discuss it when we are discussing the conjugation. Okay, so now what happens to these verbs? Okay, so we have only one more category remaining. I can understand that there are too many words that you all have to learn at a time. Okay, but once you all know the conjugation, the further process gets a little bit easier. Okay, so yeah. All right. So here, sprechen has to speak. Okay, and stem has a that changes to e. So the sound here becomes ich spreche. So ich spreche Deutsch. Okay, ich spreche Deutsch. Du sprichst. So du sprichst Deutsch. Verstehen Sie? Sie es spricht Deutsch. Okay, so zum Beispiel Paul spricht Deutsch, Anna spricht Deutsch, das Kind spricht Deutsch. Dritte Person Konjugation, sie es spricht. Then sie formell sprechen. That is why welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Because when you are addressing somebody as a second person, Sie, the conjugation is welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Now, if you see the conjugation for du, this is sprichst. So that is why your Frage mit du will change to welche Sprachen sprichst du? Okay, so das ist die informelle Frage. Warum informelle Frage? Das ist dann zweite Person informell du. Na? So ich spreche Deutsch, du sprichst Deutsch. Sie, es spricht Deutsch. Sie sprechen Deutsch. So welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Zweite Person. Wir sprechen Deutsch. Okay? Ihr spricht Deutsch. Okay? Sie sprechen, Sie sprechen. Okay? So das ist noch eine unregelmäßige oder ein unregelmäßige Konjugation. Okay? So go through, keep these tables with you. Okay, whenever we solve exercises also, no, if you are confused with the conjugation, you can always come back to these tables. Okay, so here, yeah, somebody call me out. I am so sorry, my voice is cracking. I am not able to hear you clearly. There's sort of a lag. I don't know. Your voice is not clear. Do you mind just typing? I think your chats have been switched on. No, they are enabled, right? I'll just put on. Yeah.
And this table is for past, present, and future. Something
No,
like
no, no. It's all present. Tenses are all present. This is just verbs. So we're just learning different verbs. Okay, how to use them in sentences. That's all. So this is again everything that you have is present tense. There's no past yet. Yeah. All right. Georgina, you want to try again asking your question, or are you sending it to me on chat? Hmm? Yeah. Just send me on chat. I'll answer your question. Okay. Yeah. Regarding the tenses, in A1, we only have present tense. Now, this is something that we learn more from Friday when we go to the sentence formation. Okay. But we'll be learning only the present tense in A1. Okay. We'll go to the past right at the end of the course. Okay. So, in the middle of the course, everything that we're going to be learning is present tense. Okay. So, all these verbs, the forms of these verbs that we have, they are all present. Okay, so Kategorie 2, okay, Kategorie 2, Stammhart A, you have to change that A to E. Okay, now this can be a little confusing where here also we have A, okay, and here also we have A, but like I said, out of the two also, no, you will have maximum verbs which will fall into this category. This category has only limited number of verbs. Okay, so for now you can just remember lesen and zayen as A to EA. Now another alternative to remembering conjugations, okay, now this is again I'll do this with you all on Friday, is to remember conjugations with the help of sentences. Okay, like we did just now. So you can see the entire conjugation with Ich spreche Deutsch, du sprichst Deutsch, er spricht Deutsch. So every word that you have learned so far, no, you can remember the conjugation in the form of a sentence. Okay, zum Beispiel, ich komme aus Indien, du kommst aus Indien, er kommt aus Indien, wir kommen aus Indien, ihr kommt aus Indien. Okay, then zum Beispiel, ich lese das Buch, du liest das Buch, er liest das Buch, wir lesen das Buch. Okay, so that's previous example that we did. So all conjugations, you can remember it with the help of sentences also. Okay, yeah, I'll just take a question. Okay, yeah, so I have a question here from Georgina. Is it that when the stem ends with ch, to or RCS from E changes to I? No, you cannot. You cannot group these verbs into specific categories. Okay, so not all verbs here have sh. Okay, so expression is the only verb that has ch. No, here you have helfen, geben. So these are completely random. See, conjugations of verbs are dependent on how the verb has originated and how it is linguistically used in a sentence. So it's very difficult to group them into categories. That is, yeah, if this is the sound of the verb, if the sound ends with this, then the change is going to be to I, so that will not work. It's not going to be logically aligning anything. Okay, so if I've understood your question correctly, you mean that ch is somehow going to influence the I, then it's not going to happen. Okay, because if you look at the other words which are there in this category, that's not happening at all. Now, so just try to take it word by word. Okay, I know it can feel very overwhelming in the beginning, that is there are too many verbs. Okay, but don't worry, when you practice more, no, you will understand it. So right now just focus on it word by word. So try to take one verb, one conjugation, one verb, one conjugation, like that. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, because here we have more verbs. Try to conjugate these verbs here: essen, treffen, geben und helfen. Okay, so write and conjugate, type and conjugate, but make sure you do conjugate this on your own, although we have the solutions that I'll give you all later on. Okay, because if you practice it you will remember it better. Okay, so conjugieren Sie diese drei Verben. Nein, vier Verben, Entschuldigung. Nehmen I'll discuss with you when I discuss all the conjugations. Okay. Also, so essen, this A will change to E. Treffen, this A will change to E. Geben, this A will change to E. Helfen, this A will change to E. And where are we making those changes? We are making those changes only for do und RZS. Okay, so now the rest of the conjugation you know how to do. So only at these two places you have to change the sound of the pronunciation. That is, you have to change the stamp. Okay, so machen Sie das, danach diskutieren wir. Okay, yeah, klar. All right. Yeah. So do this. Once y'all are done, we'll discuss the conjugation.
Ma'am, what is the reason while changing the E to I over here in these three only?
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat your question?
What's the reason, like you told E will change to I in the three one, like
So that's
do.
all. So reason is it is a grammatic rule. Okay, this is how the verbs work. So what we are learning now are grammar rules pertaining to verbs. So there's no like why that I can answer here. Okay, so it's a linguistic rule. So that's how the verb works. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Let me know once you finish. We'll discuss the conjugations. Okay, then we'll move on to the next category. Maybe then we can take a short break. Okay. Let me know once you all are done, then we'll discuss the conjugations. Okay. Also, alles sind fertig. Braucht jemand Zeit? Anybody needs time? Yeah, fertig. Okay. Also, super. Right. Second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ja, okay. So, wir gehen jetzt weiter. Okay, clear? All right. All right. So, and so one more again, I'm repeating again that there is no way to look at these verbs and just guess the conjugation. Okay, unfortunately, that is not going to help. You are gonna have to actually learn them, like actively learn the conjugations. Okay, this can be done with what we are doing right now with repetition. I'll show you all some videos also today at the end of the course, at the end of the class, and share that with you, so you can listen to those videos. Also, listening to that conjugation will be helpful. And then the next thing that we will be doing is we'll be practicing these verbs in sentences. Okay, we'll be practicing grammar exercises. So give it some time, don't worry, all will pick it up. It feels a little bit difficult because it is new, but obviously, all right, but keep practicing it. Believe me, it will get better. I've got a lot of messages in the chat asking that how will we know which verbs are regular and which verbs are irregular. So this is not something that you can guess. You're gonna have to actively learn that. So you're gonna have to actively learn these conjugations so that you can use them correctly in the sentences. Okay, and for now, just concentrate on the verbs which we are doing in the class. Okay, whatever we'll see in the videos, whatever we'll be practicing in the exercises for our eyes, that is more than enough. Okay, all right. So wir wiederholen jetzt das, so I can check for the spellings also if you all have written it correctly. Okay, so wir beginnen jetzt mit Sprechen. Okay, so ich wiederhole, Sie können nach mir sprechen. You can talk after me, repeat it after me. Okay, so wir beginnen jetzt. Ich spreche. Du sprichst. Sie spricht. Sie sprechen. Wir sprechen. Ihr spricht. Sie sprechen. Sie sprechen. Okay? Danach. Ich esse. Okay? So zum Beispiel, ich esse die Pizza. Okay? So Pizza is feminine, die Pizza. So ich esse die Pizza. Du isst die Pizza. Sie isst die Pizza. Wir essen die Pizza. So you see, when we make these statements, you will automatically get the range of conjugations. Okay? Also, so ich esse, du isst. If you see, we haven't added another s there because tam ends with s, na? So ich esse, du isst, sie es isst, sie essen, wir essen, ihr esst, sie essen, sie essen. Okay? Klar. Also, dann weiter. Treffen. Treffen is to meet. Okay? Klar? So, ich treffe, du triffst, sie es trifft, sie treffen, wir treffen, ihr trefft, sie treffen, Sie treffen. Okay? Danach, ich gebe, du gibst, sie es gibt, sie geben, wir geben, ihr gebt, sie geben. Okay, dann weiter. Ich helfe, du hilfst, sie es hilft, sie helfen, wir helfen, ihr helft, sie helfen. Okay, now nehmen is again a verb which is unique. Okay, what happens or the changes that we make with the verb nehmen, it happens to no other verb. Okay, so you can just learn this individually. A schreiben wir als E. Okay, so the sound of A, nehmen, becomes ni. Okay, and ha changes to m. Okay, yeah, it almost feels illogical, but that is the grammar rule. Like I said, rules you cannot argue with. If you change this, if you don't make this change, it's like a mistake. Now it's as good as saying if in English I say I is Ankita. I mean, there's nothing logical in there. Okay, so ish name. Okay, so the change happens again only at do and rzs. So the rest of the conjugation is unaffected. Okay, so ish name. Okay, du nimmst. Okay, nehmen is to take. So geben und nehmen sind Gegenteile. Gegenteile, opposites. Okay, so geben und nehmen. Okay, so ich nehme. Okay, du nimmst. Okay, sie es nimmt. All right, so we'll repeat the conjugations one. Okay, ich nehme, du nimmst, sie es nimmt, sie nehmen, wir nehmen, ihr nehmt, sie nehmen. Na? Alright? Now, if you see the sound of ha, na, die Aussprache von dem Buchstaben ha, Aussprache bedeutet the pronunciation. It is not a nehmen. Okay, this we have learned, no, when we learned alphabets. There is a sound of r, that is a, and the sound of ha, that is her. It is very subtle. Okay, so we have done a verb gain, for example. Gain is to go, no? When we did regular verbs. Ich gehe, du gehst. Na? So this is nicht gehst. It's not gehen. The her you will never hear. Again, it's not silent. Okay, it's just a weaker sound. Similarly here, this is nicht nehmen. Okay, you don't say nehmen. This is nehmen. Okay, let it. The sound is smooth, but it's weak. Now this is schwach auf Deutsch. Okay, so ich nehme, du nimmst, sie es nimmt. Nochmals, wir nehmen, ihr nehmt. Okay, sie nehmen. Klar, verstanden? Haben Sie Fragen? Anybody has any questions, any doubts? Nein? Alles okay? Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
the rule which you said, like if stam end with s, in do we don't use st, we use t. So it happens in irregular verbs also. Like
Yeah.
it happens in is in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have stam that ends with s or it ends
Yeah.
with the sound of s, so you in irregular verbs you have verbs like essen,
Yeah.
lesen. You don't add another s there because you use the s which is already in the stam. Okay.
o-
So same way for regular verbs. Okay.
Okay, it's applicable for both the
Yeah,
cases.
it's
Okay.
applicable for both. Like we did Ryzen, Hyzen, Tanzen, they are regelmäßig.
Yeah,
But then
okay.
Lesen, Essen, na, das sind unregelmäßig. But that
Oh,
S is used if it is there in the stem.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have a few questions here. Yeah, Essen means to eat. Yeah, ich esse eine Pizza oder die Pizza. Okay, so Essen is to eat. Okay, klar. All right. Yeah, so I think we'll take a short break. Okay, so wir machen eine kurze Pause. Okay, so we'll take a small break and we will continue thereafter. So, like about 7 8 minutes, you all can take a break, then we will continue. Okay, don't disconnect from the call. You all can just stay online, take a break. Okay, अच्छा, so yeah, machen Sie eine Pause. Everybody back? Yeah. Begin in India. Should we start? Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So we'll continue with the conjugation. So Friday, before we move on to our actual sentences, we will practice these conjugations. So we'll do like a little quiz. Okay. So we'll just revise those conjugations once more. Okay, and then we will proceed with sentence construction. Okay, so till Friday, make sure you revise as much as possible. Okay, so we'll do like a brief quiz in the beginning, 10-15 minutes, and then we will continue. Okay, also, so yeah, wir gehen jetzt weiter zur Kategorie 3. Okay, also, so yeah, so Kategorie Nummer 3. Yeah, so, okay. Now here your words are gonna be different.
Ma'am, the quiz is going to take place now.
No, Friday.
That's on based on what?
Conjugations. Okay, so whatever conjugations we have learned so far, no, regular, irregular, we'll do like a small quiz where we'll repeat or we'll revise the conjugations. So regelmäßiger Verben, unregelmäßiger Verben, whatever words we have done so far, make sure you all practice them, and then we will do like a brief revision, okay, on Friday. Okay. Okay. So ja, also jetzt gehen wir weiter zu dieser nächsten Kategorie. Das ist Kategorie 3. Now die Verben jetzt in Kategorie 3 haben ein A. Okay. So the sound that we have here is the sound of A. Okay. So the words that we have here are schlafen. Okay. Schlafen heißt to sleep. Okay. Dann haben wir das Verb fahren. Fahren is to drive. Fahren can also mean to go somewhere, okay, or to travel somewhere. All right. So it has these contexts also, but majorly the meaning of fahren is to drive. So to drive a car or so. Okay. Then laufen is to walk or to run. In certain contexts, laufen can also mean to run. Okay. Danach haben wir das Verb waschen. Okay, so waschen is to wash. So to wash your car, maybe to wash your clothes. Das ist waschen. Und dann haben wir das Verb fallen. Okay, so fallen here is to fall. Okay, now in alle dieser Verben, okay, gibt es a in dem Stamm. Okay, so schlafen, fahren, laufen, waschen, fallen. Okay, so this A now changes to A umlaut. Okay, so the sound of A will now become A. Okay, so this is ich schlafe. Okay, du schläfst. Okay, yeah, so ich schlafe, du schläfst. Okay, then sie es schläft. Okay, so again you are changing the stem only at two places. Okay, is okay, yeah, sie es schläft. Okay, then sie schlafen, no change. Wir schlafen, no change. Ihr schlaft. Okay, sie schlafen, sie schlafen. So here the sound of A changes to A umlaut. Clear? So this is a different category. It does not have a sound of A. So it's a little bit easier to learn. It is a little bit easier to identify also when we learn new verbs. That is the sound of A changes to A. Again, it doesn't apply to all the verbs that we have with A. It's only the specific words which fall in this category. So for now, these many are more than enough. Okay, so clear. So I'll give you a few minutes. You can conjugate these words. Okay, and then we will discuss the conjugations together. Okay, so notieren Sie das, danach diskutieren wir. Klar? Also. Yeah. Let me know once you finish, then we can discuss. Parish? Ja? Diskutieren wir jetzt? Ja. Okay? Also, gut. So, Moment. Yeah. Okay. So, Can you all see the screen? Okay, so here category 3, okay, A changes to A umlaut. Okay, so I'll repeat it once, you all can repeat it after me. Okay, so we begin in yes. Okay. Also, yeah. So ich schlafe, du schläfst, sie es schläft. Okay, then sie schlafen, wir schlafen, ihr schlaft. Okay, sie schlafen. Okay, ja. Dann weiter. Ich fahre, du fährst, sie es fährt, sie fahren. Okay, wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie fahren. Okay, dann weiter. Ich laufe, du läufst, sie es läuft. Okay, sie laufen, wir laufen, ihr lauft, sie laufen. Okay, dann weiter. Ich wasche, du wäschst, sie es wäscht. Okay, sie waschen, wir waschen, ihr wascht, sie waschen. Okay, dann weiter. Ich falle, du fällst, sie es fällt, sie fallen, wir fallen, ihr fallt, sie fallen. Okay, ist das klar? Ja, gehen wir jetzt weiter. Okay, so wir machen jetzt die letzten 2 Verben. Okay, the last 2 verbs we will do. Okay, all right. So now you have 2 verbs which are independent of all categories. Okay, so they do not fall in the category of any unregelmäßige verb. Okay, it is just all right. So these are Verben sind zum Beispiel, yeah, one second. Yeah. Okay, so these verbs that you have here, okay, they are independent of any category. Okay, so es gibt 2 Verben hier. Verb Nummer 1 ist sein, Verb Nummer 2 ist haben. Okay, so sein is to be something. So remember we have done the verb heißen. Okay, man sagt ich heiße. So zum Beispiel ich kann sagen ja ich heiße Ankita, or I can also say ich bin Ankita. Remember that question, where sind Sie? Okay, so this is the verb sein, which means to be something. Okay, so it is an equivalent of you are saying yeah you are something, or he or she is something. Na? So man sagt mein Name ist. So that is a form of the verb sein. Okay, so sein is a verb which is descriptive. Okay, so the conjugation here is then ich bin. Okay, ich bin. Okay, du bist, sie es ist, sie sind, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind, sie sind. Okay, klar? So sein is to be something. Okay, Then the next verb that we have in this category is the verb haben. Okay, haben bedeutet to have something, that is to possess something. Okay, so you remember, sorry, you remember with this context, that is this something you are, or is this something you can have? Now, so this is possession. So say for example, you can have a job, you can have a family, you can have a house, you can have a car. Now, so das ist alles haben. Okay, so sein is something that you are. So when you are describing something or someone, das ist sein. But when you're talking of possession, so for example, somebody is married, that is a description. When somebody has kids, that is haben. Okay, so the conjugation here is then ich habe, du hast. Okay, er sie es hat, sie haben, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben, sie haben. Clear? So if you look at these two conjugations, they are completely different from the conjugations that you have learned so far. As for sein, if you see the word sein, that is the original form of the verb, is nowhere used in the conjugation. Clear? Alright, so we'll repeat this once more. I'll repeat it once, you all can repeat it after me. Okay, so let us start. Ich bin, du bist, sie es ist, sie sind, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind, sie sind. Okay, then weiter. Ich habe, du hast, sie es hat, sie haben, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben, sie haben. Klar? Okay. 100%. Any questions? Anybody has any doubts? Yeah? Alles okay? Yeah? All right. Okay, so I will show you a quick video for regelmäßige Verben. I don't think we have the time for all of them. Okay, so I'll do a thing. I'll revise regelmäßige Verben with you all first. Okay, irregular verbs we have done today itself. No, so I'll not do irregular verbs right now. Irregular verbs and haben and sein we do on Friday. Okay, so this we'll do on Friday. Okay, and then we will continue. Okay, or I think, yeah, so I might not be able to play the entire video because it is about 15 minutes long, so we'll play it for another 5-10 minutes. I don't want to exceed your class or unnecessarily, okay, because it will take a little bit longer. So I'll not do the entire video. Okay, we'll watch some of the verbs, probably half of it. The remaining we will continue on Friday. So we'll do this as a quick recap of all of the verb conjugations, and then we will have our quiz on Friday. Clear? All right. Yeah. So I'll share my screen. Just tell me if the audio is clear. Okay. And then we'll watch it for about like 7 minutes or so, 7-8 minutes. I'll not extend your class. Don't worry. Okay. Because 15 minutes will make it like, yeah, just go on for a very long time. So it's just okay. Yeah. So just tell me if the audio is clear. 1 minute. Yeah. I'll also share the link. So if you all want to watch it later at home, you can also do that. And keep repeating these so that you all can pick up the conjugations quickly. Okay. So is this audible?
Fragen, kommen,
Audible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
wohnen, arbeiten, fragen, kommen, wohnen, hören, machen. These are some of the common regular verbs in German. Let's learn some more regular verbs and how to conjugate them. Hello everyone and welcome to our video series on Learn German for Beginners. In the last lesson you learned what a verb is, what is its function, and what is the structure of a verb. In this lesson, we will concentrate on regular verbs and learn how to conjugate them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for learning German for free and in the easiest way. We offer structured courses for A1, A2, B1 and B2 videos and more. Once again, regelmäßige Verben. Regular verbs. Regelmäßige Verben are also known as schwache Verben. Let's first look at the learning objectives. We will first learn the basic conjugation rules for a verb in the present tense. After that, we will conjugate a few regular verbs and in the end do a smaller exercise. Verbkonjugation im Präsens. We learned the structure of a verb in the previous lesson. There is a stem of the verb known as Verbstamm and an ending. While conjugating a verb in present tense, the Verbstamm doesn't change. The ending can vary. It depends on whether the person or thing is in singular or in plural. Here you can see how a normal, regular verb is conjugated. Whenever we conjugate a verb, we do that with the help of pronouns. We have discussed this in the previous two lessons. There are pronouns in singular and in plural. You can either remember this table or learn the conjugations for each verb. This is for regular verbs. Ich will always have Verbstamm plus the ending e. With du, the ending will always be st. With four pronouns, the ending is always an. With sie groß, in singular and in plural, sie klein, plural, and with wir. With er, sie, es, you will take the Verbstamm and just add a t at the end. Same is also with the pronoun ihr. It's now time to conjugate some verbs. Just listen and repeat after me. The first verb is wohnen. Ich wohne, du wohnst, sie wohnen, er, sie, es wohnt, wir wohnen, ihr wohnt, sie wohnen, sie wohnen. If you just remember the endings, the verbs are very easy to conjugate. The next verb is machen. Ich mache, du machst, sie machen, er, sie, es macht, wir machen, ihr macht, sie machen, sie machen. The next verb is spielen. Ich spiele, du spielst, sie spielen, er, sie, es spielt, wir spielen, ihr spielt, sie spielen, sie spielen.
That's it, everyone.
Good job, Ankur. Could you send in a summary?
Next verb is studieren. Ich studiere, du studierst, sie studieren, er, sie, es studiert, wir studieren, ihr studiert, Sie studieren. Sie studieren. Moving on to the next verb. Lernen. Ich lerne. Du lernst. Sie lernen. Er, sie, es lernt. Wir lernen. Ihr lernt. Sie lernen. Sie lernen. As you can see, the conjugation for these four pronouns is always the same. The next verb is hören. Ich höre. Du hörst. Sie hören. Er, sie, es hört. Wir hören. Ihr hört. Sie hören. Sie hören. And the next one is telefonieren. Ich telefoniere. Du telefonierst. Sie telefonieren. Er, sie, es telefoniert. Wir telefonieren. Ihr telefoniert. Sie telefonieren. Sie telefonieren. The next verb is fragen. Ich frage. Du fragst. Sie fragen. Er, sie, es fragt. Wir fragen. Ihr fragt. Sie fragen. Sie fragen. Now we come to the verb sagen. Ich sage. Du sagst. Sie sagen. Er, sie, es sagt. Wir sagen. Ihr sagt. Sie sagen. Sie sagen.
Okay, all right. So I'll pause this for now. Okay, we will continue with this in the next class. Okay, so we will revise some more verbs. Okay, and then we will continue and do a revision. Okay, so the more y'all will repeat it, the easier it will be for y'all to remember the conjugations. Is this clear? Okay, so go through everything. If y'all have any questions, let me know, and then we will discuss on Friday. Okay, so ja, das ist alles dann. Okay, so wir machen jetzt Schluss und wir treffen am Freitag. Okay, also tschüss, bis dann, bis Freitag, ciao.
Danke, tschüss.
Ja, tschüss, bis dann.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Ciao.
Danke, ciao.
Ciao.